Hi, I am so happy to be here at OISE at University of Toronto, here in Ontario, Canada, as a visiting scholar this school year 2017-2018. I am so happy to present my projects to you, my peers. I consider you my peers, masters and doctoral students and postdocs. Um, I'm really happy to be here and sharing this work because you strike me as brilliant, and your relationships with your faculty are very impressive, so much so that I decided, after doing my research, my NSF research, this summer for the National Science Foundation, I decided to stay a year and to complete some of the research that I started years ago. One of the projects that I'll be talking to you more about over the course of the coming year includes urban wellness solutions. So it is a 75-minute wellness initiative that includes 4 modalities. These 4 modalities include creating affirmations, mindfulness meditation, soulful yoga, and movement for all ability levels. This is based on research that I did at Howard University in 2014 that consisted of a research project entitled Yoga Makes You Smarter. Yoga Makes You Smart. So I created this research really out of necessity. There was a project due for my Preparing Future Faculty class when I was at Howard, and it was very last minute, but I had to come up with a topic, and all I knew was what I knew. And so I practice yoga every single day, and I sometimes teach, and I, of course, take classes. So I'm constantly in learning mode with yoga, and it is a matter of fact, it's just a lifestyle choice for me, based on a lot of things. But another thing that I did every day was to hang out at the College of Engineering, Architecture, and Computer Science, and take a few computer science or socially relevant computing classes, studying IBM Intelligent Operations Centers, and what's relevant to our communities of color, and watching the young people around me, brilliant young minds at work, 2 or 3 computers on them at all times, hanging out with representatives from all the big tech companies would come and court them, and all of us, and watching them put programs together out of thin air in no time, and then kind of gathering around me to hear my comments about how I see their work as important and how they should protect their work with patents, copyrights, and trademarks, and just how to do that, and watching that enthusiasm, and also noticing their stress levels around exam time, how they changed, and how it affected them, and how deeply, sometimes emotionally, it affected those young people in these important formative stages. We're talking about 16, 17, 18-year-olds, brilliant young minds. And so when my research project came due, and I had to come up with a good topic that really was compelling for me, I talked to my instructor, and she said that it would be a good idea. So I constructed this theory called Yoga Makes You Smarter, and it also creates feelings of well-being. And so she supported the topic and gave me some names in the medical school for some kinesthesiologists who might be able to support my work. Long story short, I crafted this research project that was later funded by the director of the Preparing Future Faculties program at Howard University. And so I postulated that, and I found research to back the fact that if you practice yoga prior to a learning event or a testing event, you are likely to have higher incidences of faster selection time on multiple choice questions and higher incidences of accuracy in choice selection time on multiple choice exams, and that I postulated that you would have at the end of regular practice of yoga, you would have more reported, self-reported feelings of well-being from the participants. And with the faculty over at the School of Medicine at Howard University and my faculty in my department, I got the support and the way to structure that by, creating a baseline by putting a Doppler, at the temples or taking blood pressure. He didn't condone that, but I kind of threw that in, taking blood pressure and doing a survey up front to get self-reported information and a baseline there, and then to conduct, yoga session and then administer an exam that I've worked out with one of my professors. And then at the end of that, taking another self-reported exam to quantify that aspect, and then to look at the actual results and an end Doppler to consider the very important criterion of brain blood perfusion. So the whole idea that yoga makes you smarter is based on the fact that with these inverted postures and the increased muscle activity, you increase brain blood flow. It's called perfusion. And when you have increased brain blood perfusion, you have higher cognition. So, out of care and concern for the students who are matriculating at the CX, College of Engineering, Architecture, and Computer Science at Howard, and the need for a project in order to get that A in my class, which I did get, this research project came to fruition. And a couple of years later, I guess it was 3 years later, this year, earlier this semester, I piloted a program that didn't test cognition, but really did engage the academic community during Growing Wellness Communities Week at Columbia University in Manhattan. So I offered this program to my peers, the Black Student Network, master's and doctoral students at Teachers College, Columbia University, who were studying in a variety of endeavors, fields of endeavor, including curriculum and teaching, higher education, organizational leadership, measurements, evaluations, statistical sciences, behavior and psychology, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they loved the format and had lots of feedback. I offered it in a 4-modality 75-minute format. And so the 4 modalities were creating affirmations, mindfulness meditation, I think I already said this, movement for all ability levels, and what am I missing? Yoga, soulful yoga. And it was very well received. And so I've gotten feedback on that. And I have been thinking very seriously about maybe carrying out the research while I'm here. Something very simple. I noticed that you all have a medical center here. So I will talk to my research director here, both my official and unofficial, very supportive faculty. I love your school. It's great. Columbia's all right too, but I'm enjoying being here at the University of Toronto. And I think I might just conduct that little small study and see what happens. It may have some application to the other project that I'm working on, which is a college access program. The idea is to build a pipeline of, very well prepared students who are interested, who are first generation college hopefuls, who are interested in studying the STEAM, science, technology, engineering, architecture, or arts and mathematics at 4-year institutions of higher learning, particularly HBCUs or Ivy League schools, and who just need the support. And so the Belts and Books and Brains and Beauty National Collaborative is a discussion that started in 2015. And it started in the North Carolina public school system while I was working as a substitute teacher, in preparation for a scholarship opportunity at law school down there. So this dialogue started among educators and from my alma mater, and it extended out across the United States and became like this huge conversation, and it wound up piloting as an actual program that asked these students who hoped to go to college, but who didn't understand that it was an option, a cultural option for them, especially for the purpose of receiving the respect that they wished to get. They wanted the respect, but they were going about it the wrong way, in the opinion of myself and many other educators that I connected with down there in North Carolina and across the country, as it turned out. So these students were sagging and dressing in different kinds of ways and engaging society in ways that they had seen, others do, that they respected and hoped to, have some instant success. But they really long for, more long-term, respectful engagement with society and ways. They were looking for ways to join a broader dialogue and to have some editorial force in their lives. So I asked of them, I wound up, behind all these conversations, I wound up creating a little format that would enable these students to demonstrate just how committed they were to the idea of engaging higher education and society in constructive ways. And those students turned out for what was required of them, which was community service efforts. And the heavens opened up, and guess who came to join the effort and to show their interest and support of this kind of initiative? The North Carolina Panthers, National Football League, demonstrated like they do with all other community service organizations, they showed my organization the same kind of support with some real extra fun stuff going on too. They really supported it. And so this 0-year sort of pilot study in 2015 for the College Access Program really showed a lot of promise, got a lot of interest from many commercial organizations that if I named, you would recognize instantly. They showed their support. They came out and they committed to future support. So there's a lot of hope and promise with this program, and I'm glad that I'm going to be able to share this research with you and to curate this program here and hopefully launch an official pilot right here in beautiful Toronto, Ontario, with the faculty and fellows here at OISE. So I'm excited about what's about to happen. I think these two programs come together very nicely. I'm trying to build into these students the need, their understanding of the need for community service and the right to have, a great education, because to whom much is given, much more is required. So they'll get the education. They will also have the rights, the privileges, and the access, but they will have the responsibilities that come along with those degrees also. And so building in character and a sense of, involvement to a broader culture is a big part of what the collaborative is all about in the summer academy that I'm building. So, and the urban wellness piece is complementary because yoga makes you smarter, and building in balance, work-life balance that has at its center as a priority healthiness, healthy lifestyles, healthy ways to engage society, healthy ways to engage your life, healthy ways to approach institutions of higher learning, healthy ways to balance the workload, the rigor, the successes, the failures, the whole social negotiation for young people is huge. They don't have the tools that older folks like myself have, and maybe you have, to negotiate the world. So there's huge risk, as most educators know, for young people to improvise, to find supportive systems or ways of coping, which can lead to serious and sometimes permanent problems. So the idea with all the programming that I'm putting together here is to help to build into them tools and habits of mind that will daily serve them as they go forward in lives of excellence and contribution. So, my name is Veronique Merritt, and I am the founding executive director of the Institute for Developing Urban Educational Solutions Incorporated, or the DEWS Institute. I founded it 17 years ago in Sacramento, California, to do this kind of work for public sector organizations at the federal, state, and local levels, and have found that, I really want my organization to serve the efforts that are most near and dear to my heart, and these two have emerged. So, in addition to these two projects, there's one other, and it will serve as the curriculum for the Summer Academy, and it is it's called the Source Book Project. So, it's a small book series of 7 titles that are named for the character development traits that I hope to instill in these young people and others who want to take a look at the book set. And I'll tell you what the titles are. They are the source of all character, the source of all courage, the source of all curiosity, the source of all joy, the source of all honor, the source of all faith, and the source of all wisdom. So these titles represent the kinds of virtues that we find at the core, the heart and soul of most centers of excellence that we find globally, not just nationally or internationally, but all over. The legal community, education communities, faith-based communities, medical communities, military communities, so on and so forth. And the idea with the literature review that I'm conducting this semester here at Boise is to do a full survey of what's being done in the field, what has been done in the field, and what's currently being done with character development of young people. So there are many projects that are being planned in order to support this final effort, and I'm glad that you'll be there to add your voice and to help me to edit this down to a place where it's going to have a successful launch in the spring. So I will talk to you soon. Thanks very much for being a part of this. Visit us on the web in 3 places if you like. You can check us out at urbanwellnesssolutions.wordpress.com, thesourcebook.wordpress.com, and Belts and Books National Collaborative.wordpress.com. Take care. See you soon.